Welcome to Yoga Download. My name is Kristin Gibowitz, and about a little over 20 years ago, I had a back surgery from herniated discs, and I've had to figure out over the last 20 years what is a way that I can maintain not only strength, but extensibility or suppleness in my body so that I don't have to feel the pain every day of my back. And I have people come to me in private sessions, and I teach them some tools to help them get a little bit stronger, open up in areas. And I wanted to teach you this today. So, number one culprits for back pain are like really tight hamstrings, right where the glutes and the hamstrings attach, extreme tightness there. Also, the psoas, which is deep muscle through here, kind of wraps around, and it can get really tense. It's affected by a lot of our emotions and stress. And so we're going to do a couple things today that hopefully will relieve you and be tools for you to use on a daily basis to maintain your back health and to feel good. So let's start in child's pose. Bring knees wide and toes to touch. You can have a block if you like or not. Extend your arms out in front of you and rest your forehead down. Child's pose is a great posture just to take inventory of what's going on in your body. You might feel the tension in your hips and your low back, and I invite you to breathe deeply. The breath is so essential to making a mind-body connection and helping us release the tension that's really gotten stuck in our bodies. So make the breath meaningful today. Long and deep and wide. Walk your hands to the right side of your space. Anchor through your left hip and readjust your forehead back to the earth. Notice the sensation from your fingertips to your shoulders, down the left side body and into the left hip. And change sides. Walk your hands to the left side. Again, anchor through your right hip and release your forehead to the mat. Can you notice if one side is a little tighter than the other? Bring the same amount of breath to both sides to create equanimity in your body. And walk your hands back to center and come onto your belly. So if you're someone who has had back spasms, Cobras are really great things to do to kind of meet the back spasm with a contraction and then to release, almost like you're confusing the muscles of the back. So align your fingertips with your shoulders. Press into the tops of the feet so much so that the kneecaps lift, and exhale your breath out. On your inhale, just your back does the work. We lengthen and strengthen the spine without any pressure in our hands. Think about hugging your outer elbows in towards the side body and really bringing the focus to strengthening the muscles along the spine. And then slowly release. Let's roll the Cobras. One breath, one movement. Inhale, peel your chest up. Exhale, release, mouth to the mat. Strong legs. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, we lift the arms. If you can, hover your hands and maybe even hover the legs. Spread the toes, expand through your chest, lengthen the crown of the head from your tail for 3, 2, and 1. Rest your hands down, make a diamond shape with your hands, and then windshield wiper your legs back and forth, hip bone to hip bone. Not a very big movement, just enough to bring you back to neutral. Make your way to table. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Let's begin some cat-cows, but what I want you to do in this one is to stabilize. Make sure the shoulders stay stable and there's no movement in the arms, but rather shoulders stay stacked over the wrists and you begin to move at the sacrum. Good, so we inhale, your tail and your chin lift, open your heart space, and then exhale, tail draws down, chin to throat, gaze at your belly. Again, inhale. And resist the urge to move the entire body. Just really focus here on your mid and lower back. One more inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Good. Slowly release. All right, walk your hands back to meet your feet and come into a ball. In ball pose, we're addressing some of the tightness in the backs of the ankles and the Achilles. Some of our back stuff can be coming from the feet. So you're stretching into the fascia of your feet. Allow your head to be heavy here and maybe take some neck rolls. Chin to right shoulder, chin to left shoulder. Good. Slowly press into your hands and bend your knees. Walk your feet forward to your hands and bring your hands to your knees, resting your forearms to your knees. So we're going to keep bent knees, really focus on lengthening the spine here. And when you're ready, lift your sit bones to the degree that you're able to straighten in the back of the leg. Your hamstrings might feel tight, so it's going to look different on all of us. Lower to a seat and lift your hips to a half forward fold. Lower your seat and lift your hips. So send the breath. We inhale and exhale, straightening the leg. So the focus is really isolating the belly of the hamstring, bringing some movement and warmth to the muscles before we move into our first forward fold. So on this next one, press your hands to your shins and reach the crown of the head forward. As you exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to keep the spine long and fold forward. If you need a block, this is a great place to plant a block. I'm more interested in how long your upper back is than how you can touch your toes. And if you're able to, you can begin to straighten the legs and challenge your range of motion a little bit, as long as you're breathing and there's no pain there. So feet hip width distance or heels, big toes touching, however you like to keep your stance. Lengthen your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll take a couple sun breaths. Inhale, rise to mountain. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold. Halfway lift in breath. Exhale, tuck and curl to a ball. Stay here for the breath in, chin to throat, and the breath out. Halfway lift, lower your heels, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. All the way up, rise on the inhale breath. Exhale, again, hinge forward, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, tuck and curl to a ball. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. This time, can you broaden the back of your heart? Broaden through the shoulders, create space there. And rest your forehead. Come all the way down to the knees. And now you're in toes pose, which might not be your favorite. But again, it's really important to get into the fascia of your feet, into the Achilles. I have like 3 friends who tore their Achilles in their adult life trying to play basketball. So we need to stay supple in this area of our ankle, especially if we wear bad shoes. So make your way back to table. Extend your right leg back and your left arm forward for spinal balance. So you can feel the imbalance. If I were to place a block on your low back, I would probably see that one hip is higher than the other. Try to think navel to spine here. Really knit the rib cage and extend your arm and leg. Keep your left arm and shoulder hugged into the back body. Good. Lower your left hand and cross your right foot to the left side. Now we're in a side body stretch, a little bit deeper than your first child's pose. Make your way to a modified side plank. Take the back foot towards the short end of your mat and align your front knee and your back arch. Left shoulder over the wrists and reach up with your right hand. You can curl the bottom toes under for more stability, but maybe lift up through the right leg. So now we're strengthening muscles in the outer glute, outer hip, working through the side body. Skull draw your ears in alignment with the shoulders. Stay with me and slowly release. Lower your right hand and cross your right knee behind your left. So this is a challenging transition. We call this cow face pose. Take a block if you need it and rest both sit bones to the block. Now we're working into the outer hip. I find the block easier. My external hip rotation is more limited than a lot of my students. So the block just raises the floor to me, and then it makes these postures more accessible. The sensation you should be feeling is the outside of your hip, perhaps on both sides. And maybe take your hands and interlace them behind you, or find a reverse prayer position to open the chest. If you'd like to deepen sensation, maybe walk your hands forward. Keep your spine long and bend it to your elbows. Deepen the stretch to the outside of your left hip. Notice if there's any negative pain in your knee. If so, then look down at your feet, that the knees and the toes and the ankles are pointing in the same direction. You might even want to find a little flex through the foot to protect the knee. Walk your hands up. Keep your hips pointing forward and gently twist. So I'm going to have you bring your hands here rather than a prayer twist. Inhale, lengthen the spine and think right lung to the left side of the space. Root down into your seat. Inhale, rise up through the crown. Exhale, twist. So notice the oblique muscles doing the work rather than you using your arm leverage to twist. One more breath in. Exhale. All right, slowly come back. Let's find table once again. So opposite hand, opposite leg. Spinal balance. Extend your right arm forward and the left leg back. Again, maybe feel back with your right hand to where your sacrum is. Imagine what you could balance on your low back, then extend and reach. Find length, find power through the center of your body. Spinal balance. Lower your right hand and blade the back foot for a modified side plank. Shoulder over elbow over wrist, lift up. Maybe kickstand the foot if that helps find balance and lift your back leg. So these are such underused muscles through your left side body, through your left glute. Feel the rooting through your right hand and the rising through your left and through the center of your body. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Lower your left hand. Now cross your foot to the right side of your space and feel this stretch into the left hip. Gaze right. Slowly come back. We'll move into cow face on the other side. So thread opposite knee on top and sit back. Use a block if that feels good. This is going to help level out your seat. You can stay here upright, maybe hands in reverse prayer, maybe play with hinging forward. keeping your spine long the entire time. Just notice the difference from one side to the other. Twist gently and to the opposite side. You can take opposite hand to opposite elbow. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, twist. Good, and slowly release. Nice work. So now our hamstrings are ready. Extend your legs in front of you. Take a deep breath in. You might lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Bring a soft bend to the knees if you any rounding in your low back. So if you're having trouble in your low back and you notice in your own chronic holding patterns that you're rounding through the back, this is extremely detrimental to the ligaments of your low back. So we need to make the shape work for our bodies, right? Bend the knees, hinge forward, and find length. And then only as time and gravity allows do you take it deeper into the hamstrings. All right. Slowly make your way onto your back. This is one of my favorite things to do. You can do it with a block, or you can do it with eagle legs, or just hands to your knees like this. I'm going to use a block today. So the knees stack over the hips, your hands come to the block, and your shins are parallel to the sky. You push into your knees, and at the same time, pull with flexed feet the knees in towards the chest. You can stay here, maybe lift the shoulders off the mat. I like my shoulders down. I can really focus on the low abdominal muscles. Push and pull. We breathe here for 3, 2. Now take a big stretch. Release the hands overhead. You can always interlace the hands and take a deep stretch like you're waking up in the morning. Good. Let's do that again, second set. This helps release your psoas. So if the psoas is what's kind of really tense or firing and causing back pain, this is going to help. Press your hands into your knees. Press your knees into the block. Flex, push and pull. So I can't see what you're doing at home. I just can ask you, do you feel the tension? Do you feel the core working? And then slowly release and reach arms and legs. And take a deep belly breath to release anything that's tense in that region. Good. Now take the block, place it between your inner thighs, and we'll do some bridge. So the common thing we do in bridge is we lift the hips and we kind of overtuck the hips up, which causes a lot of compression in the sacroiliac joint. So I want you to take a couple pelvic tilts here. That means you're going to tuck the tail, lowering the hips a little bit, and then draw the tailbone back. Think about what that looked like in your tabletop. Same action here, focusing on the low back. And then when you're ready, press into your feet and lift up. Without tucking too hard, allow this work to come into the spinal erectors and into the hamstring muscles. Now press onto the balls of the feet and then lower the heels down. Can you lift all 10 toes and flex towards your knees and then come back down? Do that again. Press into the balls of the feet and lower. Lift your heels and lower. Get heavy through all 4 corners of your feet and then maybe create a shelf, one shoulder and then the next. Press down into the pinky knuckle and lift up. Without tucking, again, feel the power now of spinal extension. Going a little bit deeper into the back bend, strengthening muscles for 3, 2, and 1. Take your block, place it right at your sacrum. That's the triangular bone at the bottom of the spine. And then when you're ready, lift the legs. And if it feels like you're tucking, you probably need to walk the hips forward. If it feels like your hips are too far down, then you probably need to walk back a bit. So another great posture that I don't have available outside today is you can do legs on wall with your knees on a chair. And what this does is it helps kind of gravity works the femur bone into the acetabulum, into the hip socket. And when we allow for this inversion, time and gravity do their thing and create some symmetry in the way that our hips are sitting in the socket. So this can help relieve low back pain as well. Good. And then you bend your knees, remove the block, just windshield wiper the legs to the right and to the left. Extend your left leg long to the mat and reach behind your right calf, or maybe it's more like your right hamstring today. Pull the knee in towards your chest as you extend your left heel forward on the ground. And then create opposition here. Push into your hands, and at the same time pull your hands into your right calf or hamstring, wherever the hold is. Try to soften the shoulders down and feel the push and pull, the nature of the tension here. And then bend your right knee and do a couple circles through the hip to the right and to the left. So you create the tension, and then there's this marvelous release in the body. Right leg extends, left leg high. Same grip to the opposite leg. You could use a strap. That's a great tool here. Push and pull. So press your calf, your hamstring into your hands, and then press the hands into the back of the leg. And you push and pull, create the opposition. Feel your left hip bone get heavy into the ground as you push and pull. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, bend your knee and take some hip circles on the left side. Good. Come back. Plant your feet and just go side to side one more time. Windshield wiper the legs. Supta Baddha Konasana, supine bound angle. Plant your feet like a butterfly in towards one another and allow your knees to fall. If you need some support, you can roll up blankets, towels, or even blocks beneath the outside of your hips. Lift your heart a bit. Turn your palms up and close your eyes. Can you feel the shift in just a short amount of time? Can you allow the body to release even further as you settle in to this hip opener? And I invite you to practice diaphragmatic breath, which for me has changed everything about how I clench through my stomach muscles and through my hips and low back. Exhale everything out. Inhale, think of the umbrella opening wide, low, and deep. Exhale, umbrella draws back to neutral. Inhale the breath low towards the pelvic floor, out of the chest. And exhale, bring the umbrella back together. Three more deep breaths. Feel free to stay here, taking a little bit longer of a breath practice, or bring your knees into your chest. Gently roll to the right and make your way up to a comfortable seat. Simple seat, easy seat. So before we close our practice, I invite you to some neck stretches. This is also really helpful to releasing the spine. If we hold ourselves in these chronic holding patterns, inevitably it's going to affect another area of the body. So you can sit on your left hip bone, or you can simply just place your left hand to your hip. Reach up and over, right hand to your left ear. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lean. Keep your spine long. That means your ears and your shoulders and your hips are aligned, and anchor through the opposite shoulder. Draw your chin towards your throat. Let it roll to center and change directions. Opposite side, opposite hand releases. Look up, long spine first, and then guide your opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Good. Look down at your right armpit, left armpit, whichever side you're on, and roll your neck, half circles. And then a full circle up and around and in the opposite direction. Good. Bring your hands to heart space. The light in me honors the beautiful light that shines in you. Here's to healthy backs. Namaste.